You must be happy. Set pieces were much better last weekend than they have been. So, do you feel that yourself?
Yeah, I think we were happy with how the line-out went. To be honest, I thought the sort of, I don't know, the media around just the last couple of weeks has been out of proportion and sort of, a lot of panic stations, it seems like, is going on outside the camp, but it hasn't been like that inside the camp. We all knew it was minor fixes and just basic human error stuff that, that's just life, and you just got on with it. So I don't think anyone panicked, which is great. And, we have the right people in the room that can sort it out, and it sort of all came together then at the weekend.
South Africa pride themselves on being physical side. To what extent does that come into your mental preparation for a match like this, that it has to be a battle and you're going out there to meet that?
Yeah, I suppose it's like most test games. Physicality is always talked about when you put on an Irish jersey. So, but of course, when you're coming up against the world champions 2 times in a row now, it's got to be at the forefront of your mind. But also, you can't let it overtake your mind. And we got to focus on ourselves and make sure we can bring our game plan to the table, and not wait and see what they bring. So we'll be going out with an attacking mindset and seeing how we go.
And just wondering, from the euphoria of Saturday night, a big win under the lights and the hat-trick, 6 tries and all that, and when you looked at the review, did it give you much of a different perception of how poor Australia were, that maybe wasn't evident live?
I wouldn't have said they were poor, but no, I think we take confidence from a good performance on our end, and obviously there's certainly things that we still need to work on in our own game, especially how we managed that, maybe that second 20 in the first half. Things around our discipline, sort of our defence when we're in our own 22 needs to be better. We haven't looked at Australia's performance.
Did you look maybe at some of the defence close to the ruck that Australia felt that they had, or that was an area that could attack? Has that been spoken about?
Yeah, it's probably a big part of the game coming up this weekend is that sort of defence in and around the ruck. They've obviously some big ball carriers, and play sort of quick on top of you, just try to narrow you up so they can sort of exploit in the wider channels. So it has been a focus, and sort of we've covered the bases there and implemented in training already.
Where did you guys watch the soccer match? Were you back with the families, or were you still in camp watching the Ireland match?
We were all back with the family, but there was a good buzz when we got back in, and people were chatting about it, where you were and stuff. So, absolutely brilliant. What a week for sort of Irish sport, I suppose, especially the football. It was brilliant to watch and to see how you can overturn some bigger teams, and when the odds are stacked against you, just believe in yourself. I thought it was brilliant.
Dave?
Your own experience in South Africa is mixed, to put it mildly.
Yeah. I've had loads of good memories against South Africa. I remember the game, I don't know, 2022 was it, Autumn, or 23? That was a super win in the Aviva, and then obviously the World Cup, another super win, and that'll be etched in my memory forever. And we've had some proper battles with them over the last couple of years, and it's always an exciting game to be a part of, and I think everyone's really looking forward to getting up to for the sort of world champions to come into town and see where we are. I think it's a great marker of sort of show where we are at, because I think we've been building nicely every week so far. It's been a bit of a slow start maybe, but hopefully we can sort of add to the performance again.
The injury then as well.
Yeah, it's part of the game. I don't see it as a thing that South Africa did it to me, or.
Well, no, I'm not saying they did it to you. I'm just the actual fixture we're talking about. I'm not saying they did it to you, but just that obviously is a traumatic moment in your life.
Yeah, but it was something that's probably a positive. I see it as now, and I felt fresh going into the end of last season. I felt good in my body, and it doesn't bother me now at all. So, it's something that I've just sort of moved on with. I don't even think about it anymore.
Did you stay on that summer? I wasn't out there.
Yeah, I stayed. I had nothing else to be doing. I was just waiting to go on holidays, I suppose. So I stayed down, and glad I did, because we got to enjoy that second test victory and the celebrations after that. And we've already talked about how special these games are, and when you get a performance put together against some of the best teams in the world, like they're the best memories you'll have together. And I think we've put a good focus on turning the page quickly after the Australia game onto South Africa this week to make sure we can get it.
I want to be a witness, but that second test was, I'd say, one of the most extraordinary games you've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Just give you a few memories of that day.
Obviously the drop goals were pretty good. But I was sitting beside Bundy. The two of us probably were injured after the first game, and we were almost on the pitch and just sort of watching the different collisions happening in front of you. It's kind of weird. When you're watching it on the sideline, it feels like something you haven't been a part of. I'd almost be feeling it sometimes when you're watching AIL. I'm like, geez, these lads are flying in to each other here. I don't know if I'd be able to cope, but it's funny. Then you're on the pitch and you just manage with it. So it was just an incredible day for Irish sport as well.
Thanks. Well, Dan, just one for me. Talking to a couple of former players, they've said to me that whenever they came up against South Africa, it was the one team they knew was the most bruising encounter. Do you guys look at that from certain teams and know that with South Africa, the physicality goes up to probably the highest level in the world? Yeah,
for sure. You have to have your most physical game of the year against South Africans, but also they've mastered their game plan as well. We need to be all over our game plan as well. They have a lot more than just brutes running at you. It's kicking game, it's passing, it's quick backs in the wider channels. It's a bit of everything. So I think it's mainly we've talked about being mentally and physically drained at the end of the 80 minutes, and mentally is probably the main one. You need to be switched on for the full 80 minutes, and how we go about that during the week, how we put that into practice in our training. It started today already, but that'll be a massive challenge.
Do they have any weakness?
No. That's why they're two-time world champions, I suppose. So we need to make sure we don't have a weakness at the weekend as well, and cover all bases, I suppose, with set piece and obviously our attacking game and defensive side of things.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And they had a number 8 covered hooker last weekend, was it? What have you made of their experimentation and the way they kind of mix things?
Yeah, I suppose it's brilliant. It gives them a lot of options, and you never know what team they're about to select, and it's probably a smart decision to have people cover, because you never know what circumstances you're going to come up in Test rugby. So I think it's something that you got to keep an eye on. We haven't done it or experimented with it yet, but it's something that they're pretty good at.
Was there a bit of chat about you going in the back row on stage? Is that ever floated?
No, it hasn't. There's been scenarios where if you have to, you might have to do it, but which I'd have no problem with. But it hasn't been I don't think I'll ever be named on a team sheet with the number on my back. But if I had to do it, I'd do it.
You never know. You were talking about the defence in the 22. On the other side of the ball, you guys seemed to be pretty clinical when you got in there. What did you do? What did you feel you did well when you were within kind of striking range?
Yeah, we'd probably seen moments of it. That tight furlong try against New Zealand was good. The sort of attacking rugby we wanted, but we just didn't see enough of it. And I thought, we were managed pretty well by Sam. Putting forwards into the right positions, forwards getting their roles right, and then also seeing space to sort of move the point of contact, not just to chuck it up all the time. So, I think we've talked about making sure everyone is involved in the play and no one's sort of taking a break or I suppose doing nothing. It's been a focus on making sure all 15 people are in every play.
Is that a challenge? Because obviously there's a lot of blunt force involved, but there's a lot of details you saw last day. Is that a challenge to make sure you're kind of lucid even when you're trying to be?
Yeah, you have to be ready for a few different scenarios last second. You might be told to go and carry, and then last second it's a pass or it's a tip on or it's out the back, and we expect people to be able to do it, and we're expected to do it. So I thought it was much better and fluid this week, where we were getting calls right and sort of seeing pictures in the real time and being able to capitalise on Australia sort of tightening up.
Last one, just to look back to the start, when you said about the line out, you were kind of aware of the public discourse around it. Is that something you just kind of laugh off? Is it easy to ignore when people are talking about your line out? Or?
Yeah, I find it easy to ignore. It's just because I just know what it feels like in here, and it was literally the people that didn't hear the call, so like it's no big deal. I know it looks awful probably from watching the games when the ball's been thrown in and no one's even going up, but it's as simple fix as someone just saying it louder or being able to hear. So that's what I just sort of bring it back to what it really is.